Welcome to the Pageantry PodCast.
And today's very special Pageantry PodCast guest visiting with us this morning is Miss America 2025, Abbie Stockard. Abbie, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, since you're ready, I'm ready. We'll jump right into the questions.
Okay.
Let's relive the crowning moment, first of all. What was going through your mind?
Oh my gosh, it is a complete blur, but I can tell you this. I was in absolute, genuine shock. I did not think that I was going to win Miss America going into it. My goal was to get the top 11. Throughout the entire week of being there and meeting the amazing other 51 contestants, the entire time I was thinking, oh my goodness, they are all so amazing, so well-spoken, so polished. How are the judges going to pick a new Miss America? And in my head, I never counted myself into that equation. Once I got the top 11, I was just like, this is the goal. I've accomplished it. Now I'm just going to go have fun. And then I get called in the top 5 and I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then it gets down to me and Annette, Miss Texas. I remember us holding each other's arms and just looking at each other. And I was like, holy moly, like this is real. This may just happen. And the crazy thing is, she looked at me and she said, Abbie, you were going to be a phenomenal Miss America. And I was like, wait, what? No, Annette, that's going to be you. You're so amazing. You're perfect for the position. And then right after that, they called my name and it was just completely speechless. I mean, I had probably over 30 people there supporting me. And I had told them going into the week, you know, guys, don't spend the money on coming. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, just watch it from the comfort of your home. And in that moment, I was so thankful that all of them made the trip to be there for me, because it just made the night even more special, getting to look out over into that section right there and see my family and my friends, everyone who was just going absolute nuts. My mom was bawling, crying. It was just an incredible moment. And I swear I've watched the crowning video at least once a week, and I am just as giddy every time I watch it.
Looking back, you're the first woman in a decade to capture the title of Miss America. It's been 10 years. What does the title mean to you?
I mean, it's just such an honor to represent such an iconic and inspirational organization. I am the 4th Miss Alabama in over 100 years to ever win the title of Miss America. And what's super cool is that Heather Whitestone was crowned in 1995, Deidre Downs in 2005, and then me in 2025, which is kind of crazy. I think 5 is the lucky number. But you know, this organization has been vetted by the American public for over 100 years, and I'm just so humbled to get to represent an organization and a brand that is championed by thousands of young women ages 14 to 28 who are serving as ambassadors for this organization. They're using their voice. They created a platform, and they're truly enacting change across their communities. And so I'm honored to represent this organization that we call the nation's premier empowerment platform for young women today.
In a talent presentation, you performed a contemporary dance routine. How long have you been studying the art?
Since the age of 2. Ever since I could walk, I've been dancing. My parents put me in ballet and tap class, and I have just never stopped dancing. I fell in love with it. I started competing at a super young age. I was on the dance team at high school, and then I went to Auburn University and I made the Tiger Paws dance team. My mom was actually on the team when she went to Auburn, and so it was always a goal of mine. And then I got to serve as a Tiger Paw for 3 years, and then you know, I won the title of Miss Alabama and now Miss America, but I'm just in love with dance. It's been my whole life. For me, it's more than just, you know, an art. It's always been my escape. Anytime I get stressed or overwhelmed or just caught up, I always go to the dance floor, and that's where I feel like I can release it all. And this piece that I performed at Miss America, it was a contemporary dance to You Say by Lauren Daigle, and it was a very meaningful piece for me. That's the one I had been competing my entire time in pageants. I started competing with it 3 years ago, and then I just loved it. I didn't want to do anything else, but my grandmother actually picked out the song You Say before she passed away, and she would tell me, Abbie, whenever you hear this song, I want you to remember that you are loved, you are worthy, and you are valuable, and never let anyone make you think otherwise. And so when I got on that Miss America stage and I performed, I knew that, you know, she's up there in heaven just beaming, so proud of me. And I just wanted to inspire people and remind them the importance of always sticking to the course and to the importance of staying true to who you are.
And speaking of pageants, what originally interested you within the industry, and what have you learned about yourself through competition?
Yeah, so I was not a pageant girl by any means. Honestly, it was never on the radar for me. I grew up watching it with my mom in the den every single year, but honestly, I looked at these girls and I was like, wow, they are everything. I mean, they're overly gifted. They're so unique and so talented. And I never really thought I had anything super outstanding or special about me. So I didn't compete. And it wasn't until my freshman year at Auburn University, all of that changed. I have a twin brother who's also at Auburn, and then a little sister who's a freshman at Auburn. And as you know, college is very, very expensive. And at the time, my parents are divorced, and I was watching my mom work 4 jobs my freshman year at college to help provide for my brother and I to go to Auburn. And so I wanted to do anything I could to help her because I know she was making a tremendous sacrifice for us. And so I saw that Miss Auburn University was the next weekend, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. So I signed up completely on a whim, having no idea what I was doing. To anyone's surprise, I did not walk away with the title that weekend, but I loved it so much. I signed up for the preliminary in Birmingham the next weekend, and I ended up winning that title. And that's how my journey kicked off. I went on to compete for the title of Miss Alabama for the next 3 years. You know, sometimes they say third time's the charm, and that's how it worked out for me. And then walked away with the title of Miss America. But what I've learned from this organization is I didn't really know who Abbie was or what my true purpose was. And I think this organization is what truly showed me that my voice matters and my voice carries weight, and I truly can make a difference across the state. I mean, every contestant's required to create a service initiative, and mine is cystic fibrosis because of my best friend since the age of 9. It's a chronic disease that currently does not have a cure. And so one's life expectancy is significantly shortened. And because of this organization, I made one of my biggest strides probably ever. I spearheaded my very own fundraiser, raised over $190,000 for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in only one night. Never thought I'd be able to put on an event. It required over 9 months of planning, but I learned how to be confident in myself. It allowed me to build a foundation of self-esteem. Not only that, it allowed me to foster friendships and network with business people. I learned how to market myself and this organization, but truly feel as if I am making an impact now, not just across the state, but across the nation as well.
And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Speaking of the third time of catching up, you've had a very busy schedule. Let's talk about the Miss America travel schedule, where you've been, and what you've got coming up.
Oh my goodness, I have been super busy, but it has been an absolute blast. It's hard to believe that it's only been a little over 3 weeks since I was crowned because I've done so much since the night of January 5th. So right after I won, I flew to New York City to do what they call Media Week. And so I had several interviews every single day. I got to go on Good Morning America, which was definitely a bucket list item that I got to check off. Another thing I've done, I went to the 24-hour Rolex race in Daytona, Florida, which was super fun. I've never been to any type of motorsport event before, so that was a very cool experience. I got to do the hot laps. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where you get in the race car and you do it. So I got to do it twice. That was fun. Definitely had a little stomach ache after, but I embraced it. I also got to go to Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. I was able to attend several galas there, several of them being the Southern States events. I attended like the Southern States Gala, the Southern States Ball, and then a prayer brunch with Governor Kay Ivey, which was super sweet because I've just felt so much support from the people of Alabama. Where did I go recently? Oh, I also went to New York again for the American Heart Association Go Red for Women Red Dress Collection and Concert. The AHA is one of our amazing philanthropic partnerships. And so I got to walk the red carpet with all of these famous celebrities. By the way, got a shout out from Sharon Stone, which was extremely surreal because she actually got her start by competing in pageants. So the pageant world It's really small. And then I just got home from New Orleans. We got to go there for the Super Bowl weekend. I attended a night of pride, and then I also attended the taste of the NFL, which was an absolute blast. Got some beignets and some crab legs along the way as well. And then coming up next week, I have my homecoming. So all of the contestants and the state title holders that I competed against will be traveling to my hometown, Birmingham, Alabama. And it's going to be a whole weekend of just celebrating Alabama, celebrating me, but also all of the amazing title holders post Miss America week.
And I must say, you hit every single talking point that I had on what you have done, except for one.
What I miss?
You actually got to perform with the Utah
Oh,
Jazz dancers, which is
I
the
did.
only one that I said she's gonna make this one for sure. What was that like?
The crazy thing is that happened completely on a whim. So my boyfriend plays for the Utah Jazz, and they found out that I was there and I was attending the game, and I got a message saying, "Hey, we'd love to do some content of you with the Utah Jazz." I had no clue I was going to do anything with the dancers, and I was like, "Absolutely, let's do it." So I show up for the game like an hour before. They end up taking me to the Jazz dancers locker room just to like meet them and talk to them. Next thing you know, the coach is holding their adorable two-piece Utah Jazz outfit, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to dance with us?" And I was like, "You know what? Why not? You only Miss America once." So I got in uniform. They like taught me the routine really fast. I was trying not to look nervous when I got out there, but it was so much fun. They were so sweet. Went out there, did my little number, and it was a lot of fun. What was so funny though is that Walker, my boyfriend who plays for the Jazz, he didn't know I was doing any of this. And so when we walked out to the court to like practice our formations, each player has a scheduled one-on-one shooting time with the coaches, and turns out his was the exact same time as the time we went to the court. So I walk out there with all the Jazz dancers, and he does a double take, and he sees me and he's like, "Wait." And I just know he was dying because all the coaches, of course, they were like videoing him, and then they were videoing me and both of our reactions. But he was like, "You know what, Abbie, you soak it all up." And that's exactly what I did.
And I must say, as a recent development within the Miss America opportunity, is that you are now allowed to talk about your significant other, which I think is absolutely wonderful.
I do too. I mean, he got to be there the night that I was crowned. I'm sure you saw the video. He actually had a game in Orlando playing the Magic the same night of Miss America finals. And it's crazy because he plays over 80 games in the season and he's only in Orlando once the entire season. What are the odds it's the night of Miss America? And so after I won and went back to the hotel for my coronation where I give a speech, I walked out, had no clue he was coming because he told me he had to get on the team plane, and there he was standing next to my mom. And so after I just lost it because it was just so sweet, because that was just probably going to be one of the most memorable nights of my life. And so it just made it 10 times better. He got to be there to celebrate me too.
Let's elaborate on High Five for Kids.
Right. So the High Five for Kids is an initiative to educate individuals on the importance of pursuing healthy lifestyle habits. And it's very important to ensure that they are educated about that, especially at a young age. So it's actually an acronym. The High Five part, the high, the H stands for healthy eating, the I stands for increased activity, G stands for good sleep, and then the other H stands for hydration. So that's high. And then the five part is just 5 pillars of health, whatever you want it to look like. For example, it could be 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, maybe 5 glasses of water a day. It could be 5 days of exercise per week, or it could be 5 positive and meaningful connections, putting your phone down, no technology, and having those in person and those real emotional interactions. I think this ties in perfectly with our partnership with the American Heart Association. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in women, and that is why it is so important to prioritize our health so that we can prevent any type of health issues before they spiral out of control. And so I get to use my platform as Miss America this year to promote this High Five initiative, not just for kids, but adults as well. And after I explain it, I like to get kids and adults to give each other a high five to help lock in that initiative and that promise that they're going to hold themselves and their health accountable.
Being as you're in nursing school, and I have a son that is going to nursing, and I do know the investment, and you have a brother and sister also at Auburn
Mm-hmm.
to help your parents. How much money, scholarship money, have you earned from the Miss America organization thus far to help?
I have acquired over $89,000 in tuition scholarships, which is life-changing and just so incredible. I will be graduating next year from Auburn University's College of Nursing with my Bachelor of Science in Nursing completely debt-free. But not just that, it'll pave the way beyond that as I aspire to become a pediatric nurse anesthetist and hope to go to CRNA school. So these scholarships have changed my life. And, throughout this year, one of my goals is to shine a spotlight on those life-changing scholarships because I know that there are women who were in my shoes going into college who are looking for some type of way to relieve that financial burden. And I want them to know that making one decision to start competing in this organization can end up changing your entire life.
And as everyone knows, you are very early within your year of service. What do you hope to accomplish?
So many things. Ultimately, the way that I always looked at Miss America is she was a light, she is a role model, she's an inspiration, and she has the ability to engage and connect with people regardless of their age or their background. My goal throughout this year and everywhere I go is to invest in people. I want to be remembered as the Miss America that was real and relatable, but always stayed authentic and true to her unique self. My goal is to truly touch the lives and the hearts of the people across our nation. Miss America is supposed to make people feel seen, valued, and appreciated. And that's one, what I hope to accomplish. Two, I'm excited for the impact that I'm going to continue to make with cystic fibrosis. I had a call recently with the CEO of the National CF Foundation, and they're naming me a national ambassador for their foundation. And so that's truly going to allow me to amplify my impact with CF advocacy this year. At the end of the month, I'm actually attending one of their largest fundraising events. It's called Celebrity Ski. So I'm able to do things, honestly, I never thought I would have the invitation to do. And I'm just so hopeful for the future of this disease because I get to use this platform to continue increasing awareness, expanding fundraising participation, and hopefully getting closer and closer to finding a cure. We also have amazing philanthropic partnerships. Like I said, one of them is the American Heart Association that ties in directly with my High Five initiative. So I'm excited to continue spreading that message across the nation as I go to these appearances. And ultimately, one of my goals is to continue empowering young women, breaking stereotypes about pageants. Something that I used to think was you had to grow up competing in pageants in order to do well. And that's one of the reasons I was very hesitant about competing in the first place, because I honestly felt very behind and like a fish out of water. But I've come to learn that it doesn't matter at all. This organization values authenticity, and this organization has equipped me with skill sets that will truly allow me to be successful beyond the years of wearing a crown. And I want other young women to know that as well. But even if they don't find themselves wearing a crown, I want them to know that they can accomplish anything that they set their mind to and that they can truly have the ability to chase their dreams without limits.
Where can someone learn more about the Miss America opportunity?
Absolutely. So you can go online, you can search Miss America. You could also follow us on social media at Miss America. You can learn how to get involved, how to serve as a volunteer, maybe on a local, state, or national level, how to be a sponsor, but also how can you start competing and find a local preliminary somewhere across your state.
Any final thoughts?
Thank you for having me.
Well, it has been my pleasure. Is there anybody that you would like to recognize?
Well, I have an amazing support system. So I have to give a shout out to my people back in Alabama. I mean, it's been 3 weeks since I've been crowned, and I've just felt an outpouring amount of love and support from the people of Alabama. Got to give a shout out to my family. I also have to give a shout out to the local directors that believed in me and helped instill a level of confidence in myself, like Abbie you can do this. Some of our amazing sponsors that helped prepare me going into Miss America, the Miss Alabama board, they are an amazing team. Just all the people that have believed in me from the start, even when I didn't believe in myself. I couldn't have made it this far on this journey without them. And now I'm just so thankful for the amazing Miss America board that is doing the same thing. And I'm learning more and more about myself every single day. I'm already experiencing a significant amount of growth. And so I'm just so excited to continue this journey, continue fostering friendships and relationships with people across our nation, and hopefully shedding the most positive light on the Miss America organization.
And I'm so happy that you took time out of your busy schedule to visit with Pageantry Magazine and the Pageantry Podcast today. I look forward to following your journey throughout the year. And once again, I want to say double congratulations, best of luck, and I will catch up with you throughout the year. Thank you so much for visiting today.
Thank you, Mr. Carl.